ink of the soul. We begin as raw material, spirit unshaped, cast into a world where guilt, envies, mischances, regrets, and jealousies rise like smoke from our first fires. These are not stains, but the first tools in our apprenticeship. The soul is not sculpted in serenity, but in friction, abrasion, and heat. What burdens us becomes what builds us, if we dare to hold it differently. We cross arid lands of infertility, those seasons of silence and seeming waste, times when nothing blooms and the self feels cracked and barren. But beneath those scorched surfaces, roots still deepen. In the desert, we learn patience. We learn to listen. And we learn that even silence carves space for revelation. We confront the antimony reflection of the ego, the strange mirror where truth and distortion coexist. Antimony, both poison and cure, becomes our teacher. The ego distorts, but also defines. It is the paradox we must dissolve and refine. To know ourselves is to see through that reflective alloy, not to deny the ego, but to transmute it. This is the craftsmanship of spirituality, not escape, but engagement, not purity, but process, not rising above, but walking through. Each fault a chisel stroke, each regret a refining flame, each barren stretch a chamber of sacred waiting. What follows is not a lament, but a testimony, a map traced in ink, ash, and light. Every misstep, every flawed intention carves a deeper understanding of what it means to walk in balance. We begin to sense the subtle weight between action and consequence, between wanting and wisdom. From pain comes awareness. From remorse, alignment. The soul learns not by perfection, but by contrast. The clarity of what was not to do lights the way to what is right. This is how we begin to feel the pulse of equilibrium, the still center from which true action flows. All becomes spiritual awakening through mistakes. We're born not knowing, and in our perceptive knowing we err. Fuel to burning guilt that we wear too long, this becomes a shell, a hard husk, sealing in the soul, feeding light into shadow. To live in shame is to walk downward, a spiral returning, always to matter, to the gravity of self-condemnation. It's not only penance, it's the jailing of the self. It's the ego holding onto its baggage, refusing to set it down at the border of growth. What we call mistakes is the foundation of spiritual humanity are, in truth, the bricks of becoming. They are the etched records of experience that ink our souls, not with shame, but with depth. Each scar a symbol, each regret a lesson embedded into the architecture of a more conscious being. Our spiritual humanity is not pure from the start. It's purified in the fire of reflection, resilience, and return. We are not fallen creatures. We are rising ones. To forgive is to transmute. To mend the self is to expand the self, to crack the shell and let the stain lifter free the soul. This ink is not to soil, but to burn into memories, not stains, but signatures of an expansive journey. Forgiveness writes new lines in the soul's book of our life story. Let the ink on the soul not be a weight, but a testament, not a mark of guilt, but a sign of refinement. These black traces are not flaws. They are calligraphy written in the script of becoming. We are not the sum of our errors, but what we have chosen to do after them. We are forged, not broken by the fire we walk through. Forged by fire, not burdened by guilt. Love of the self is not a storefront illusion, not a reflection waiting for perfection. It is loving the unseen, oblivion, and unfinished. The infinite within the imperfection that uplifts the self towards better tomorrows. You're not the architect of chaos. You're the variable through which chaos becomes rhythm. This ink becomes the scaffold of our world, the unnumbered wonders of our world that will erect our spiritual enlightenment. And so we walk forward, not as flawless beings, but as bearers of stories inked in struggle and becoming, each step a stanza, each breath a chance to turn chaos into meaning and meaning into light.